All right. Welcome to a vaguely familiar podcast. My name is Nazar Sayed. This is the backward point edition of the podcast where we talk about everything cricket, Pakistan cricket. Currently, there is a T20 World Cup where the four finalists are England, New Zealand, India, and my homeboys, Pakistan. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations. Congratulations. The most unhappy man in this room right now, for some reason, is Ahmed Bashar Sayed. I would like to introduce you to Ahmed Bashar Sayed, the co-host of this podcast, the man who has been consistently wrong all day yesterday, the man who, if he were in Karachi, would probably be impaled by now by the people of that beautiful city. Um, the most wonderful thing about this podcast is that you can have extremely hot takes, and you could be right 8 out of 10 times, and you could be right 1 out of 10 times. But the magnitude of how right you are in that moment is always identified with the victories on the field and off the field by your team, the team that you support. So I'm sitting here today, a very, very happy man. I'm a very happy supporter of the Pakistan cricket team. And lots to talk about, lots to wonder about. I'm just going to give it to you, man.
Yeah. First of all, man, I don't even know, how are we even sitting here? How did we end up in the semis? We were nowhere. We were out. We were virtually eliminated. We were packing our bags to go back to Karachi, go back to Lahore, and finish our shopping in Australia. And somehow, through some divine way, credit to rain, credit to Netherlands, our Dutch brothers,
Mm-hmm.
we're here. We're in the semis.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster. Like we've quite closely covered this World Cup, especially from the lens of a Pakistani cricket fan, and to be at this point where the first two episodes of this series were just complete and utter disappointment, and then I was sitting here beating South Africa, beating Bangladesh, qualifying for the semifinals.
You know what I feel like? Remember that scene from Avengers Infinity War when Iron Man looks at Doctor Strange and he's like, there's only one way.
Yeah, this was
There
it.
was only one way.
This was it.
Rain had to happen between the Zimbabwe versus South Africa match.
Yes.
Netherlands had to beat an informed South African team who had just beaten India.
Yep.
And somehow Pakistan had to win all their games against South Africa, against
South Africa, who by the way was unbeaten in this tournament.
yeah, they were unbeaten up until Pakistan beat them. So just a turn of events. And,
Is that what you want to say? Is that
and I'm just speechless.
Can I ask-
I want to come back to you, and
Yeah.
because one of the things that's been going around is the fact that you were so confident, the fact that you're believing that Pakistan will go through, and because that's also what happened in the '92 World Cup, and we'll come to the similarities that
as we always
somehow
do.
always come around when a World Cup is in Pakistan playing. So what made you feel that Pakistan is going to qualify? Because nobody gave Pakistan a chance.
If I'm gonna be honest, it's the way that the T20 game is played, right? Like I think you were the one who said that the shorter the format, the easier it is to upset. There's less margins of errors. If it's your day, it's your day. It's harder to beat a like a test team in ODIs, and it's even harder to beat a test team in tests, right? But it's easier to beat them in T20s. We just saw this with the West Indies, 2 times world champions, didn't even qualify, right? So the way that Zimbabwe beat Pakistan, and the way that Ireland beat England, it was quite obvious to me that this game is just about margins. And if you do one thing good and you do it really, really good and you take it to the end, it puts on the pressure on the other side, no matter who the other side is, right? And I just, you know what, the Dutch were impressing me throughout the tournament. The before the Super 12s, the qualifiers, they were really good there. They knocked out West Indies. They were just like ahead of their games, and the games that they were losing, there were some of them that was like just like wide margins, but some of them got real close. And the way that they won against Zimbabwe was quite encouraging for me, because Zimbabwe is close to South Africa geographically, and South Africa was under pressure, and then South Africa also has to live up to its infamous title of being
Chokers.
the chokers. Like, they are a no-show at big events like this. And even when they were like gaining momentum and like strudling along, I should say, they found a way to give it up. I don't want to take anything away from the Netherlands, though. The Netherlands played beautiful cricket. The way that they batted, the way that they put this,
Their
took-
fielding was
the
insane.
fielding was insane. They took the offense to South Africa. They never were like, we're gonna aim for 130 and hope for the best. They were like, we're gonna go out there and score 160, and you could tell that from the first over that they faced. It was just a phenomenal performance. I think
they took on Rabada, they took on Ngidi. Rabada went for 37 and 3 overs. Ngidi was also very expensive.
I'm just saying, if they try to take on Nokia only got 10 runs off his 4 overs.
Yeah.
Let's say they try to take him on, he goes for 25-30. Suddenly the total is 175.
Yeah.
And that's even worse somehow for South Africa.
They had the intent, they had the firepower. They wanted to counterattack.
They went for it. They went before any attack could happen. They were like, we're going to be the team that is in the offensive, and immediately, like, you could see South Africa sweating bullets. I mean, there's so many amazing things that happened yesterday in the world of cricket. Like the catch. Can we talk about the catch?
Yeah.
Was it Van der Merwe's catch?
Van der Merwe, yeah.
Man, it's one of those things where like everything has to happen in a certain way. You can call it the butterfly effect. You could call it whatever you want, but things shape up in a way that work in your favor. And we were talking about this maybe off air, that even though Pakistan lost 2 games, both of the games that Pakistan lost were at the very last ball.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that could go wrong went wrong against Pakistan. And today, or yesterday, I should say, everything that could go right went right for Pakistan. Netherlands beat an informed South Africa. Pakistan beat Bangladesh.
We had a few drop catches from Bangladesh. We had an umpiring decision that went in our favor. That was for Shakib's wicket.
Yeah, few drop catches, few umpiring decisions, few missed runouts. All of these things, if they go here and there, like Shakib doesn't go out, he scores a quick 25 ball 50. What are we gonna do then?
Yeah.
Right, we were choking. We were choking. We were kind of stranded in the middle of nowhere in our second innings, but while chasing that score. So like I'm saying, like when things are meant to happen, they're meant to happen, man. Divinity plays a huge role in everything, I should say. Like as a religious, as a spiritual man, I do believe in that. But when it comes to sport, it's something else, man. It's something else.
You gotta believe, and believe the Pakistan team did. And I think Ryan Holiday's last book was Courage is Calling, Fortune Favors the Brave.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say even the Pakistan wasn't the most bravest side of the tournament so far, but we had our moments. And I think with Pakistan being in the semis now, there is another flavor in the whole tournament. There's a possibility even India versus Pakistan final.
It's more than a possibility, buddy.
So, and I'm sure the broadcasters, everyone is really happy to see Pakistan and India both in the semifinals. This is the first time since 2007 that Pakistan and India have both qualified for the semis together.
Yeah.
So it's either been one or the other. And Pakistan also is the only team in the history of T20 World Cups to qualify for 6 semis.
That's crazy.
The next best team is, I think, Australia, India, who all have like 4 qualification semis.
So Pakistan has gone through 6 semifinals, but only 2 finals.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's. I'm hoping that streak breaks. I want Pakistan to go into 3 finals. I want Pakistan to win 2 World Cups. Whatever you want to say happened in the first 2 games for Pakistan. Pakistan is the better side. Pakistan is the favorites. You're looking at me crazy again. I'll expose you once again.
No, it's because every time you say that, I keep thinking of the big blunders they keep making in every single
That doesn't
match.
mean that they're not favorites. That has no, like, even if they're screwing up because they're favorites. Like if they were like a mediocre 2016 Pakistan team and they made those blunders, we wouldn't be upset about them.
But we all know Pakistan plays their best when they're not favorites, when they're underdogs, when nobody gives them a chance.
Yeah, now they're
and
underdogs.
Their backs are against the walls. When they're corner tigers, that's when they come back. And so, as a cricket fan, you should never write Pakistan off. And I think I made that mistake earlier, and I didn't know that God works in different ways with the weather and the upsets. So
what the people really want to know is, are you an ESPN cricket info paid agent? Like, because this man was upset that Pakistan was winning yesterday and the Netherlands won. Like, the quote from you directly was, "Man, I hope Pakistan loses." Can you explain your sentiments?
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Of course, I brought this up. This is why I've got you on the podcast, buddy. You know what's gonna happen right now?
So basically, the reason why I was hoping for Pakistan to lose was I was hoping Pakistan loses the first round. They go back home and they get a chance to self-reflect and get a chance to see what mistakes are we making, what big blunders are we making in big tournaments. Babar as a captain, Saklan Mustaq and team as the team management, as to why we are still not playing modern day T20 cricket. The sad part for me is that when first initially back in the late 2000s when T20 cricket came about, Pakistan was way ahead of its time. We were like making use of all three phases of the game. The
Correct.
power play. We had Imran Nazir, Kamran Akmal. We had Shahid Afridi batting up the order as a low value wicket. We had great death bowlers in Umar Gul, Muhammad Amir. We had great spin bowlers in Afridi and Ajmal.
Say that, yeah.
So, like, where did we go wrong? Like, Pakistan was, like I said, way ahead of its time, and now it seems like Pakistan has gone backwards, and all the other teams in the world, they're playing fearless cricket. They're making the most of each phase of the game, and we're somehow gone back 10, 15 years, and we're just not making most of the game. And
I disagree with you massively. We just talked about Pakistan going into six semifinals. Pakistan was in the final of the Asia Cup. Pakistan was in the semifinals last year. Pakistan's in the semifinals this year. Pakistan just won a tri-series against New Zealand in New Zealand. Like, I get what you're trying to say, but I'm telling you that if all of us are trying to get to the same result, right? And England is getting that result through baseball, and we're getting it through Qudrat ka Nizam, then it doesn't matter, bro.
I think it matters. I think these small mistakes, they're gonna come back to bite you. And if we don't adapt now, like, there's still time. We have a semifinal coming up. There's still time to make the batting order flexible, to change the opening pair, to make the use of an informed batsman plus the power play. There's still time. I hope the team management and Babar Azam, they learn and they bounce back hard, because there's still time to rectify your mistakes. And if they don't make the changes, and if the same mistakes continue to happen, again, this is gonna taint Babar Azam's legacy as a captain, I think, and he might even be stripped away of it.
Now let's talk about that, because people are like, there is always upheaval. Well, there was major upheaval when Pakistan lost from Zimbabwe. What are your thoughts about Babar Azam as a captain? We talked about, stripping the captaincy away from him in the last podcast as well. Things are a little bit different now. The sun is shiner, the grass is greener. The sun is shiner. The sun is shining brighter. The grass is greener. The water is wetter, whatever you want to call it. Things look a little bit more optimistic from this point of view. Where are you standing at the whole captaincy debate right now?
I feel like Babar Azam, I want to also just loop in the team management in the same breath, because obviously they make decisions together. Pakistan had 1 year to prepare for this World Cup. The decisions that have been made leading up to the World Cup and then in the World Cup have been just astonishing. We invested so much in Asif Ali and Khushdil Shah in the middle order up until the England series, just one game before, just one series before. And out of the blue, all of a sudden, come at the World Cup, we've benched both of them. So what was the point of investing in all of them? First thing. Second thing,
Okay, sir.
a lot of praises and talks about this Mohammad Haris kid. Go back to the PSL podcast. I told that he's the most impressive emerging talent in the PSL, but he should play more domestic cricket, more first class cricket to improve as a batsman. This guy is 21 years old, right? Before the game against South Africa, where he played in the World Cup, he had only played one T20 international match. So if Haris was part of your plans, why did we not give him more exposure? Why did we not give him more games in the Asia Cup, in the England series, in the Tri-Series? Why are we putting this guy in the deep end in the World Cup, this 21-year-old kid? If he had flopped, we would be sitting right here and criticizing him, criticizing Babar Azam. And I just don't think that's the right way. Same thing with Haider Ali. We invested so much into him, come at the World Cup, 2 flop games, and all of a sudden, he's benched. Number 3. Number 4.
Are you gonna let me answer any of these?
There's 3 injured players playing in Pakistan's 18-man squad. Usman Qadir with a broken thumb, Fakhr Zaman with the knee injury, Shaheen Afridi with a knee injury, Shaheen Afridi is the best bowler in the power play, the best bowler in the first 6 overs, one of the best T20 bowlers of all time in the current era. But he's not fit. He was never fit. So who, first of all, categorized him to be fit? We saw him run in the first ball against India. Big game, 100,000 people, World Cup match, and he's bowling 130, 132. His average pace the first 3 games was 134 clicks. He wasn't getting the same swing, the same length, he wasn't the same Shaheen, right? So is a World Cup the right time to gain match practice and to gain rhythm? Why are we risking Pakistan's World Cup chances for Shaheen just to get back into rhythm? Why didn't we send him back into first class cricket, gain rhythm there? India benched Bumrah because they didn't want to risk the future 5-10 years of his career. Bumrah is not in the World Cup. They're still managing. We still manage without Shaheen in the Asia Cup, in the England series. We had Hasnain playing. We had Dhani playing. So we had the options. And we still chose to play an injured Fakhr who, again, got injured. And we probably, his injury got worsened. He's one of our main players. He's our premium batsman. And so I don't know what his future is going to look like. Shaheen just looks back into form now. I think he bowled 2 deliveries of about 140 clicks.
Bro,
the
last 5
game.
deliveries of his last over were like 140, 142.
Right.
Yeah, give some slack to that guy.
Right. So, I mean, I'm not blaming Shaheen. I'm just blaming the management and the captain who are playing him forcefully in the World Cup, risking potentially Pakistan's chances.
All right, so let's take it one step at a time there, okay? We did invest in Khushdil and Asif Ali and Haider Ali and Fakhr. Though that was our middle order, rock solid with Shadab there and Nawaz there as well, right? That was mainly how we were going to shuffle them up. If Khushdil and if Khushdil and Haider Ali are not showing up, even if we're investing into them 3-4 series and they're not showing up, how can we keep up with them? Right? The major flaw in the first couple of games that we lost against India and Zimbabwe, especially the Zimbabwe game, was just them throwing their wickets away. And I agree with you, Mohammad Haris was not in the plan, but neither was Fakhr getting injured again on top of his injury in the plan. So we had to improvise in the moment. We improvised in the moment. We got Haris in, and Haris played a blinder in both the games, right? So I agree with you. If Haris had come in, it would have been more of like remember Bilawal Bhatti?
Yeah, okay.
Remember that? Less of deep cut.
Yeah.
That's a very deep cut.
Brought back some trauma.
Exactly. He was like supposed to be like the next big thing, the next like pacer all-rounder from Pakistan, and he got smacked for 25 runs or 24 runs in that match in the 2014 or 12 T20 World Cup. Never heard from him again. Mohammad Haris could have been that guy. Like if he had flopped, 6 ball, 3 run, out, gone, never see him again. 100% that could have happened. But it didn't happen. And that's a gamble you have to take in this petition when people that you've invested in for the past 12 months are not showing up. Like, I still vividly remember Khushdil batting in Lahore. He's like 20 balls, 13 runs. And when he got out, the Lahori crowd cheered for his wicket against the England series just a couple of weeks ago. So how can we put that player back in the team when his confidence is low, his morale is low, there's question marks on his abilities?
So why did we pick him in the first place?
Because we have to invest in someone. We have to have these 4 or 5 people and be like, okay, these are the people that we're going to put our money behind. These are the people that are going to win us World Cups. Haider Ali had a very good New Zealand series, I want to say a couple of years ago, right? He, I think, scored a really good 50 there as well. People were just like, singing his praises. He's the next Babar Azam. People were calling him the toothless Azam. Nobody called him that. Only I called him that. All right. Like that was happening, right? And then suddenly for the past 12 months, he's a no-show. Do you want him to flop on 2 major events back to back and then we give him a third time so he flops again? Like the theory behind that is that, okay, if you've stuck behind someone for the past 12 months and they've consistently said, no, we can't play by the way that they play, you should be like, no, because we've invested in them, we have to see it through. Okay, if that's your mentality, then don't criticize Babar and Rizwan opening because that's what they've been doing for the past 12 months. Let them see it through.
Yeah, I was just going to get to that actually because if we're making so many changes in the middle order, why not experiment with the top order as well, right?
I think
why is Babar so stubborn and so people are seeing on Twitter? Why is he so egotistic to not sacrifice his position as an opener?
You know what?
For the sake of the team.
Is, I'm so glad that like there was no Twitter in the 80s and 90s, or Imran Khan would have been when he retired in 87, he would never have come back because people would have called him egotistical. People would have called him full stubbornness. People would have called him a one-man army, one-man show. He picked up ballers from the Nets, put them in the playing 11, like that series. He picked up a no way, like no one's that's heard of him, like completely raw in Zaman Haq, who flopped the entire 92 World Cup and showed up in the semifinals.
But he backed him in the whole tournament, right?
Yeah, so that's what Babar is
and
doing.
He came through.
And if Babar backed Ifti the whole tournament, bro, Babar's been backing Ifti for the past 12 months. And
I've been backing Ifti too, by the way.
And the thing is, Ifti showed up when he was demanded. When the call came, he showed up. He has 2 brilliant 50s, the biggest 6 in the tournament, right? Khushdil and Haider didn't show up, man. That's the difference between Ifti and Khushdil and Haider, right there. And the problem is, Babar Azam is the first captain since Imran Khan that is calling his own shots. Agreed or disagreed?
Questionable shots, but yes.
I'm not talking about the quality of the shots.
Babar has full backing from the management, full backing from the
This is the first time we've seen this.
I like the fact that the captain
This is the
empowered.
first time we've seen this since 1987, 1992.
I would say Sarfraz was pretty empowered as well.
Oh my God.
Come on.
Sarfraz was given Wahab Riaz and he could not get him off his back. You can't tell me that Sarfraz played all 11 players in Sarfraz's team were the 11 that he wanted. You cannot say that.
Well,
but I can say with 110% complete confidence that Babar's team is Babar's team. This is the 11 that he wants to play. All right? You can call it whatever you want, but it's showing maturity. It's showing that this is a captain here for the next 3 years, not the next 6 months. All right? And we've had captains that knew that they weren't going to be out in 6 months. Azhar Ali's name comes to mind, right? Like he was remember him? He had a good stunt in the 2016 World Cup.
Babar is making like tactical errors every now and again. So he's not learning from his mistakes. I don't see an evolution in
How long has Babar been captain?
Over 2 years now.
Okay.
He's captain in multiple tournaments. But again, just he doesn't have that killer instinct, man. Like, you know, when you see like the likes of Ricky Ponting, Kane Williamson, they were like half the killer instant. Like when you have the team 50 for 5, you would go for the kill, bring your best bowlers back, finish the innings off. I just think he's lacking that, and then also just bad team selection. Like the first game, it's pissing me off so much. Pakistan played one seamer short, right? We're talking a lot about Nawaz bowling the last over. That's a big blunder as well. But even just playing one seamer short, because you played Wasim the next game and you had 4 seamers, you didn't win the game, but you were very close to winning it. You saw an immediate impact of having a 4th seamer, having a variety in your bowling lineup, and so that's just like, who is making these calls? Who's not picking the 4th seamer?
Okay,
you're playing in Australia, not UAE.
Let me play some devil's advocate here, because the reason that there was an extra batsman and a bowler less was because of your middle order. It never showed up until the World Cup started. So with that mindset, if the batting is only being like, you know, there's runs only being scored from the top 2, top 3, then obviously you want to play an extra batter just to make sure that there is some insurance, I want to say, some impact later into the innings. That was the thought process. It didn't work out because clearly we had that one over, like, you know, the spare over from Nawaz came back and bit us. But I just want to say something about the Nawaz over, because people have been talking a lot about that as well. India versus South Africa. India has the last 3 overs left. Ashwin has an over to go. Rohit Sharma bowls Ashwin. That 18th over, Ashwin goes for 20. So, in hindsight, does the last over from Nawaz look bad now? I don't think so. I think that's the best call he could have made.
Let us know in the comment section below.
No, I don't. No, I don't want to hear from you guys. I don't want to hear anything from you guys. I'm telling you, that's the only thing that you could have done at that moment.
I think it's hilarious how Pakistan came into this World Cup with issues with the middle order, and we're walking out of the World Cup with issues with the top order.
Who's walking out, bro? We've got 2 games left.
Whatever happens.
This guy is, I'm telling you, this guy does not want Pakistan to succeed. This guy's like, Pakistan's already walking out.
Final between England versus New Zealand. Both Asian teams getting knocked out.
No, this is I want to quickly talk about the 1992 comparisons, because they're back as they always are, but this time it's like it's happening. 1992 Pakistan needed these other 2 teams. I keep forgetting the name of these 2 teams. I should have researched it. But Pakistan needed these other 2 teams games to get rained out, so that they could split points and get demoted, and Pakistan would get promoted into the top 4, and then they would make it into the semis. That's exactly what happened. rain happened. Pakistan got promoted. Pakistan went into the semifinals. Now, Pakistan in the 1992 World Cup was coming from 2 losses, and they only won 1 or 2 games in the group league. So they were like really, really low. Like they were on the bottom tier, but they somehow started peaking at the right moment, as we call it in the industry. That if you peak at the right moment, that's when everything is happening. Like if you peak too early, peak too late, you might miss your chance of getting that World Cup. Now, Pakistan in 2022 are peaking at the right moment. All right. They're getting their mojo together. They beat South Africa, who was unbeaten. They convincingly beat Netherlands, and they semi-convincingly beat Bangladesh as well. So they're on their way to a convincing, hopefully, victory of this World Cup. That's what I'm claiming right now. Now, in the 1992 World Cup, Pakistan was playing New Zealand in the semifinals. Pakistan is now also playing New Zealand in the semifinals. If things go according to plan with the 92 World Cup and England beat India, they go to the finals. Pakistan beat New Zealand, they go to the finals. Suddenly you have a Pakistan-England final at the MCG 30 years later.
Damn. Full circle
moment. And you know what happened in that game? It cemented Imran Khan's legacy. That 92 team went on to become the best team of the decade in the next 10 years. 99 World Cup. One of the best teams ever played. Like 6 of those players were in the 92 World Cup or around Imran Khan during that time. I mean, I'm jumping ahead of myself, thinking about Babar Azam winning this World Cup, thinking about him cementing the legacy of Shaheen, Naseem, Wasim, and Mohammad Haris, and all these guys. And I'm like, just getting goosebumps thinking about it, because Babar Azam, like I said, has become the Imran Khan from 1992.
Holy crap. What the hell? This guy said that.
I'm going to walk out now.
What the?
I'm going to walk out now.
Hashtag Babar Azam for PM. I mean, if you're looking so ahead. Pakistan already beat New Zealand. England beat India. Pakistan beat England in the final. We have a whole legacy.
I'm optimistic right now, bro. I'm super duper optimistic. You can see it in my eyes. This is a man whose dreams have come true. This is a man who wakes up in the middle of the night, prays for Pakistan to win, and it happens. So anything can happen at this point. I feel invincible right now. I feel like my boy Batman here. Anything can happen. And I'm hoping that the way that I've come full circle with this is exactly how it goes down. I also, just a little pointer before I'm gonna let you finish, but I would also, this is just a personal thing. I want to see a Pakistan-India final, and I want to see Pakistan beat them. That's just a personal thing. The way that we lost early on in this tournament, the way that we lost the 2007 final, I think redemption is in order. I think the cards are switched. I think it's finally time to get over that hunch, right? To beat India in the World Cup final. I think we need this. I think we need this not only for the 2011 finalist fans. I need this for the 2007 finalist fans as well. This is something that needs to happen, and I'm hoping that it happens, because the stage is set for it to go ahead.
I personally don't think I have the heart to watch an India versus Pakistan final at the MCG again. I don't have it in me anymore, man. I'm like 24 years old. I might be a blood pressure patient very soon, and I think this comes part and parcel of being a diehard Pakistan cricket fan. What's the way forward for Pakistan? Do you think any changes in the next match? Any playing 11 changes?
Yes.
Any changes in the batting, bowling?
No playing 11 changes, but I think after the Bangladesh performance, there's definitely self-reflection, some introspection in Babar Azam's eyes. You have to realize that this is probably not happening for you in the top 2 at least. You got to demote yourself. I think if Babar, like you said, is learning from his mistakes and trying to adapt and trying to become the captain that he wants to be, that I believe that he can be, like Imran Khan. Imran Khan promotes himself up in the final, goes second down or first down, gets a very important 50. I think Babar has to do the opposite, demote himself, go 1 down, and then get the 50 in the 7 to 15 over range. I think Mohammad Haris is the go-to opening selection. If he gives you a good 3 overs, 4 overs in the power play, and he goes for like a 25 ball 50, 30 ball 60,
take on Bolt and Saudi,
15 ball 30, it's a different ball game altogether, as Makai going to say.
Yeah.
It's a different ball game altogether. Shout out to the legends, bro. Wasim and Okar, bro.
Yeah. I agree. Babar went down. The whole country is calling for it. Babar, if you're watching, someone send this to him. Screenshot, tag Babar, come one
Tag
down,
Babar, yeah.
please. I beg of you. Let Harris open. Let him utilize the power play and hopefully counterattack. Put them under pressure. Play with intent.
Yeah,
All Harris is doing is playing with good intent.
for sure.
And that's what we want from the Pakistan team as a whole. We've seen Shaheen peak. He's getting back into rhythm now. We took 4 wickets last game. Good reverse swing. Good swing up front. The only missing piece of our puzzle is just Rizwan and Babar firing. Once we see that, then I will say Pakistan is peaking, and then I will say Pakistan is contenders for the World Cup.
You still don't think they're contenders?
I think there's
Bro,
still
somebody audit this podcast.
they're
I
still-
don't know. I want to know where this income is coming from.
There's still missing gaps in the Pakistan team, and I feel like they're playing to their full potential yet. They have a lot more potential, and it's disappointing for me to see that they're not living up to that yet. So we've got into the semis despite playing bad, despite making mistakes.
I hear you.
So imagine how good we can play if we maximize our resources.
I hear you. I agree with you. And the next couple of days are going to be very exciting. Anyways, final thoughts before we leave. Yesterday was an exciting, inspiring day. To be honest, I just never thought that we'd be here. And I'm very, very excited for the rest of the tournament. Only a couple of games left. 2 semifinals and a final left. The way that the turn of events in this World Cup has been great. Australia knocked out. That's wild to me.
Who would have thought?
They were favorites to go back to back, and yeah. So it's great to see this. I'm very excited for the next couple of days. The excitement is going to be building up. We're going to be back after the semifinal against New Zealand. We're going to do a podcast after that. Hopefully, we'll have good news for you then. Finishing thoughts and salutations.
Shout out to the Pakistani community online with the memes.
Yo, Pocket Twitter is great.
We have the greatest sense of humor. We have the quickest memes, the most relevant memes, and
Shout out to Saltafa,
I think
bro.
that's just been a highlight of the day. Like it enhances the whole experience of watching the game and winning to see all those memes storming in after the match. So yeah, looking forward to the semis. I'm hoping that Pakistan can pull off a famous great win at the SCG and set up a good stage for
the MCG.
The MCG. Can't wait.
All right, that's Nazar Sayed and Bashaar Sayed signing off from the Vigli Famir podcast. If you guys like what we're talking about, if you guys agree what we're talking about, if you guys disagree what we're talking about, leave a comment below, tag us, DM us. We will reply to the nice ones and ignore the mean ones. And if you guys want to support us, like, subscribe, share. You know, if you're listening to this on the Spotify's and the Apple Musics, please rate and just leave a review. Tell the algorithm gods that we're doing good here. And we'll see you guys in the next game. Nazar Sayed out. Bashaar Sayed out. Cheers.